Hi guys, me again. This is a video I've been meaning to make for you guys for a while. Pardon me, and I've been waiting for some, halfway decent weather. It is so frickin' gorgeous out here today. Like, now that summer's over and all the kids have gone back to school, summer has decided to appear. So this video is all about our beautiful wedding in our beautiful woods. So I'm gonna walk you down the path, peoples. So I was hiding, this is the corner of our garage, so I was sort of hiding here, and my boys walked their bridesmaids down because my boys were groomsmen and my husband's son was his best man, my daughter was my maid of honor, his daughter was one of my bridesmaids, and my best friend of 30 years was one of my bridesmaids. So my boys walked their significant bridesmaid down the path and took them down to the gazebo, and then they came back up. And the reason why they came back up is because they were walking me down the aisle because my dad was not well enough. The initial plan was that my dad was supposed to meet me, I'll show you when we get down there, at a certain spot in the path, and that wasn't able to happen because he was really unwell, and then he was going to stand at the just at the entrance of the gazebo, and the idea was that my boys were going to walk me down the aisle, give me a kiss, hand me to my father, who would then just give me a kiss and hand me to Fonz. And unfortunately, things did not work out that way. Dad was really unwell that day. So anyway, here's the our little stone path going to the garage door. So the boys and I walked down here. And of course, no one could see me because of the woods being all filled in, and we had lace all draped around the arbor. This arbor we built for the wedding. I'm going to show you my little Dasmo garden shed that my sweetie pie built for me. Isn't it beautiful? Like, that's when we first bought the house. So, but anyway, I'm just rambling here. This is one of my really defunct, that's my next door neighbors back over there. They have a business that they run from there. This is unfortunately one of my really defunct gardens because this is year number 3 that my gardens have been untended. And as I say, my husband tries so hard. But there's, he's limited as to what he can do, and plus the man can't garden. He hasn't the foggiest between, what's a fucking weed and what's a flower. But anyhow, so they've been pretty neglected, and they definitely show it. But I'm hoping, please God, next year we'll be able to do something with them, whether we have to pay someone to come in and revamp all the gardens. But, I think I said this in a former video, that life always finds a way. And these... see, here I am word searching. Shoot, where is it? What's the word? Hello? Oh, hostas, there we are. These hostas just started to bloom not that long ago, actually. They're kind of blooming a bit late. And it's funny, because usually I always thought they were a bit more purple than what they are, but they're actually quite white. They're so pretty. But this big hosta here, and then if you come around the corner here, there's another hosta, and that, both of these are from my dad's gardens, from when they moved from where they lived for, 50 plus years back to where they live now, where they first met, to my Nana's house. So, and this little beauty right here, which looks a little shrivelly because it's getting to be that time of year, this is our lilac tree that we planted at our wedding. This is a Sensation lilac. And it hasn't had a good summer. I don't know why, what's wrong with it, but it'll be okay. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. But anyways, it's quite beautiful when it's in bloom. If you don't know what a Sensation lilac is, Google it. Have a look at Google Images, and it's just stunning because each little tiny flower is a pale purple, well, about a medium purple, and each little flower has a white outline around the edge of it, and it's just frickin' stunning. So this over here, I wanted to show you this. This is my vegetable garden over here, guys. Isn't it doing great? The only thing in there is rhubarb, and I didn't plant that. And this is all raspberry canes along here, hoping that they'll, grow and produce some fruit. But if they've produced any fruit this year, the birds have gotten to it first. And this, shockingly enough, actually has no water in it right now because it usually has water. But I see it does have peanut shells in it because my babies have been at it again. Anyway, This is my bird bath, and I made this out of a rhubarb leaf, and my husband, this sort of three-legged stand, and this is cast iron. It weighs a fucking ton, trust me. A friend of my husband's from work had it given to him by someone or something and didn't want it. So he brought it home, and I was like, oh my God, what a perfect thing for the bird bath. Rhubarb leaf bird bath. And I made one for my dad that unfortunately somebody who was mowing his lawn, it wasn't on a stand, it was just the leaf itself, and we had it sitting on like a stump close to the ground in one of his gardens, and it looked beautiful. And unfortunately it got broken, and we made one for our family member. Well, she's not a family member, she might as well be, who we call Mutter in Temagami. And unfortunately hers was broken too, but ours is still hanging in, thank God. This, I know I'm supposed to be doing a wedding video, right? And I'm showing you all this stuff. This bird feeder here, my husband put it on this cedar pole. But this bird feeder, my dad made this, oh gosh, I wouldn't even know, 20, 30 years ago. And when they were moving and we were helping them pack up, and I said to Dad, like, you taking your bird feeder, are you not? And he has tons of bird feeders. He's a big fanatical gardener, bird person, animal person, just, you know, just like me. And he said, no, I don't think so. And I said, well, can I have it? And he said, sure. So there it is. And I'm ever so proud, and I love that feeder. So over here, this is our arbor that we built. I should say that over, don't get dizzy on me now, people. There's the shed. See that arbor over there? I'm going to zoomy a bit here for you. Okay, that is the top of an arbor that was originally over here. Sort of a transitional thing between the side yard and the backyard, which we didn't really understand. Anyway, my husband was going to move it to where the arbor is now behind me. And when he tried to take it apart, it literally fell apart. So it was really old, and it was only just nailed together. It wasn't screwed together, so it just come apart. So I said to him, save the top arbor bit, and I'm going to use it as a trellis. So that is actually quite old, that bit there. And I did at one point in time have a honeysuckle vine growing up that, but again, my gardens are seriously neglected. It's embarrassing, because I used to literally have strangers like would pass by, you know, walking on the street or whatever, especially cottagers in the summertime, that would say to me, oh my God, your gardens, oh look at your peonies, oh, you know. And it's, of course, people drive by now and say, is that house abandoned? You know, like the gardens are shocking. So because we were unable to move that one, oh, now I got to zoom back out. Because we were unable to use that one, we then decided that, well, we're gonna build our own, right? So we built this from the ground up, so to speak. Isn't it beautiful? And it was all covered in lace, and it kind of created like a curtain effect, so that none of the guests could see me until I started down the path. So my husband built this basically. And these are my little gardens that I put in at the base of it. All this rock that you see everywhere around the edges of each and every one of my gardens was hauled around this property by me. That was when I was healthy and well and before the accident, and had a back like a bulldog, right? This clematis I planted a couple of years ago, and I thought, oh, well, you know, it's died, it's not going to do anything. This year it decided to just go barking mad and climb up, and it had beautiful big purple flowers, and my squirrels went, oh, look at the pretty purple flowers, and ate the fucking things. That's it. They're lucky I love them. This one, I have one planted on the other side as well, with the idea being that they will come up and meet in the middle and cross over each other. And see that hook up there? That's because there was lace hanging from those little round eye hooks. Ow, my neck. We just left them in there because I was afraid if we pulled them out, we're going to split the wood, right? So this is the arbor, and this clematis seems to have given up the ghost and gone where all good clematises go when they die. What is hanging out in the tree? Yeah, it was doing quite well initially, and it is literally just a brown stick. So I think next year we're going to have to replant. Or, you know, we might just let this guy carry on, and he will over time. I mean, he's that far up. See him? He's like right up here. So you know, he may in time, he may go up and over, and I don't know, we'll see. So here's the beginning of the path into our woods. This woods, I'm going to insert some photos into this video because I'm learning how to do that. Isn't that freaking cool? Thanks to Kind Master. And no, they're not sponsoring this video, but Kind Master, you rock. So I will insert some photos of the woods when we first bought the house. Literally, if you stood here, you couldn't see 2 feet into the woods. It was just a tangled mass, overgrown mass of everything. There's a lot of cedar back here, but we have Manitoba maple, we have spruce, we have sumac, we have oak, we have pine, we have pretty much everything you can think of. So here we go down the path, right? See all this rock that's lining the pathway? Again, that was all me, little old me, lugged all that rock. So my sons and I came walking down here. This path has gotten so overgrown now. None of this green stuff was here in the pathway at all. And it's difficult to see now. And I'm going to try to bend over and show you here. But it's 3.5 years later. But if you can see, oh God, yep, that's too bad to get down like that. See this? This is all wood chips, right? That a friend of ours was able to get for us for free. To line the pathway. So the pathway was completely clear of any, you know, any debris, any, you know, twigs, sticks, nothing green growing in it. It was just this gorgeous pathway of wood chips, right? So really pretty. We got married at 3 in the afternoon. It's now about almost 5, I think. So the light's a bit different than it would have been. Plus, it's a different time of year. We were married in May. So again, here we are. Here's all the stones along the pathway. This big guy here, I was trying to dig him up because he was almost like he was sort of coming out into the pathway. And he was too heavy, and I said, screw it, leave it. Just nobody trip over it. But anyway, yeah, there we go. All the beautiful trees. So, right here, if you see this rock, it's faded. When I was digging up all this tons of rock, I came across this rock, and you can't even see it now, but painted in green, you might see a little tiny titch of it right there. I had K plus P, and it's now, you know, it's worn off over the last 3.5 years, and I'll have to redo it. And then my husband's grandson, Max, found this one the last time they were up here visiting, and he insisted that it was a heart-shaped rock and it should go live with the other one. We said, absolutely, honey, you go put it there. So anyhow, here we are, back out onto the path here now. Now this tree here kind of marks the corner where the path turns. So you'll see that, sorry, I might be making you dizzy. So you'll see that all of this, and then now we turn, yeah. So right here, my husband and I cleared out an area of trees, and some of these rocks right here were just the day of. They were removed and set aside just briefly, because my mom is in a wheelchair, and we had to get mom down here somehow, right? So rather than her having to come down through that, because there is a bit of an upgrade, a little bit of a hill there, so this was the easiest method of getting her down here. So, and then the rocks were put back in before the ceremony began. So here we are. And there's the gazebo. And we built this ourselves. So, my boys and I came walking down here. And as you can see, the path is wide enough for, like, with the three of us comfortably shoulder to shoulder. Like, we weren't, you know, slamming into each other or anything, but this is our beautiful woods. Our beautiful woods. Right now I can hear a motorcycle in the distance, which is really odd because you don't normally hear much of anything. Look at this, guys. If that don't take your breath away, I don't know what does. Isn't that stunning? Wow. Hello. So, on we went down the pathway with Rachmaninoff's Rhapsody on a Theme of Paganini playing. And if any of you are familiar with the movie Somewhere in Time with Christopher Reeve and Jane Seymour, that music was used in that movie, but wasn't made for the movie. It's a piece of classical music. So one of probably my favorite piece ever. So anyhow, loved it. So when we get to this point, you see now that the rocks kind of end here, and at that tree end here, and I don't know what, that rock's kind of out of place. So the reason being is because this whole area here, not including that tree, this whole area here, right up, that tree has grown up. That green one right there that you're looking at, like right there, has grown up since the wedding. It wasn't there. It was all hay bales for guest seating. And then, of course, oh, my husband saw horses down here. That was not here for the wedding. That was just him a few years ago sawing up some firewood. So then, of course, all this as well was all hay bale seating. So it went right up, and all this grass was not here. And the reason why it's here now, I think, is because we took out, I mean, look at this now. You can see the sky. It's just absolutely stunning. But when we first started working in these woods, this was just closed right over with it was horrible, horrible. So I remember coming to look at this house when we were thinking about buying it, and I asked the real estate agent, well, how far back into the woods does the property line go? And he said, oh, it goes back there a bit. Like there's a marker back there if you care to, you know, fight your way back there and see, but it is back there. And I couldn't believe it. I just walked and walked back here, and I climbed over trees and climbed under trees and beat my way through bush, and I couldn't find the marker. And I thought, well, I must have missed it. I must have, you know, I've gone too far. I can't go back this far. And then I finally found the marker down over that bank over there. And I was like, and when I turned around to look back at the house, because the woods were so thick then, I couldn't even see the house. And I thought, oh my God, I have to have this house. This rope that you see with the orange tie and stuff, that shows our property line on that side. And on this side, it actually goes over in behind our neighbor.